G'day and welcome. Early Crow, episode 79. T. Papley and I still know Pratty, who is just trying to get it together, keep it together, maintain the rage as a phenomenal father that we know he is. So it's Paps and I, Paps in Sydney, me in Melbourne. A glorious morning here in Melbourne after a grim weekend weather-wise. Paps, how are you? How's Sydney? And how was the weekend?
Yeah, it was good, mate. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but the weather's definitely turned in Sydney, that's for sure, which is nice. This time of year is the best. I think the biggest difference from Melbourne to Sydney is sort of late July to sort of September-ish, where the weather's sort of warming up here, but it's still pretty cold in Melbourne. So it's nice weather here, and the weekend was good. But yeah,
I reckon you cash in on the weather in Melbourne in the back of summer, like autumn. It stays nicer
mm,
here when it gets wet in Sydney.
yeah,
So you're getting out a bit, walking the dog a little bit, are you?
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
My partner's actually away, so um. Yeah, just
Big Murph, how's he
take.
going?
Yeah, he's going good.
Do we
We're taking this.
do we take a bag and
Oh,
walk the dog?
yeah.
Good.
Always taking him out
Always.
for a walk, and yeah.
So the video I got sent to me of you just ignoring some of his business fraudulent.
Nah, I had to just quickly duck off and get to the bin, and then
Ah,
went back and picked it up.
full credit. All right, forgiven, trusting. Um, Friday night, Giants, Swans out there at Homebush. Do you love getting out there to that ground? It looks like a fast, slick, short grass ground. Do you like playing on it? Do you like getting out there first?
The ground's not too bad to play on. I actually don't mind it, but driving out there is a pain in the ass. Couldn't do that every day like they do. We're just pretty blessed with where we train and where we live, so it only takes 5-10 minutes to get to training there. It's taking us 35, 40 minutes to get there. So, but yeah, it's good ground. I didn't mind it. Thought there would have been a few more people there, but yeah, it was pretty sort of poor crowd in the end. I think just because you have to go out there, but no, it was a good game, and they were too good in the end.
It was certainly a game of like sort of 1.5 quarters versus 2.5, wasn't it? Like it was all Swans early. Pressure was enormous, dominating. Um, Everything was going where you wanted it to, including Shanks, I thought, which we'll get to later. And then it just turned, and they're like literally they go the orange tsunami, but it
Mm.
was they were kicking goals out their asses. What happened in the first portion of that game where you guys were great, and as a Swans fan and a long time Swans fan, I feel like you get sort of shown what we're capable of, but then we fell back into what we've been recently.
Yeah, it's I think we're pretty good inside, and um, in the first sort of half, good inside. Like we are just winning our contest, and then we're getting in deeper and putting their backs under the pressure. And you could see that in the first half. We were scoring pretty heavily when we go inside 50, and then we'd lock it in. We'd get repeats, and yeah, we're doing everything that we sort of planned to do. And then in that third quarter, we were sort of kicking a bit shallow, and they got their game going off that because they like to turn the ball over around there, and then just like you would say, go fast and go straight through the middle. And we sort of played that into their hands, and then they got their momentum going. They got their tails up, and they're hard to stop when they do that. And they were good out of the centre. Like we might have won a few, but we sort of the ones we did win weren't much. And then they would turn it over and go and score. And obviously they weren't missing, so we didn't really get our hands on the ball, and we couldn't take some. When we did, we couldn't control the ball. We couldn't take time off the clock and sort of swing that momentum. So yeah, it was disappointing, but they're a good side, and unfortunate we obviously can't make finals now, which was a bit of a bit of a bummer. And we'll look towards this back end of the year how we can get better to focus on next year as well.
Does the mindset change a bit internally now? Because the motivation was to push, to push, to push to make finals. Now that's not there, so we need to find a new way to be motivated. And are we focusing sort of less on winning and a little bit more on like structural ideas and player development things for the remainder of this season? Or is it just the same as it was and let's figure out a way to sort of fire each other up to get a result?
Yeah, no, you always want to go out there and win. I think you got to compete. You got to go out there and win for sure. Um, Not sure what Coxie has in plan with it, if he tries a few new different things with players or anything like that. I'll probably find that out in the coming weeks. But yeah, you just go out there. You want to keep sharpening your game up. I think obviously we've lost against Bulldogs and Giants in the last sort of 6 to 7 weeks, which they're pretty good sides. And yeah, we only just beat Saints, but like you said yesterday, they can turn it on and play pretty well when they want. But yeah, it was disappointing. But yeah, we'll look towards this. I think we've got 4 or 5 games left. Yeah, you want to sharpen your game up and see what you can do better and improve. So then come pre-season, you can keep building off that.
Looked like you got a pretty significant knock early in the game. What happened, and how are you post that?
Yeah, first minute or so, I got a bit of a knock in the ribs, but it's not too bad, which is all right. A bit of local in it, and away I went. So, but it was a pretty bad knock to McLean. That was
What was
pretty
that
scary.
like? Did you
That was
hear?
pretty.
Do you hear any noises, or is it just the sort of visual of him?
Nah, it's more the visual. He was like sort of half seizuring and eyes back in the head, and yeah, it was pretty scary stuff. You don't like to see that from any opposition or your own players for sure. So, yeah, a few boys were sort of a bit shook by it, but boys did well to sort of move on from that and go well in the first half. But yeah, he's all in good spirits. He was good after the game. He's obviously pretty rattled and didn't really know what was going on still a little bit, but yeah, he's in good spirits.
What's the protocol like for a concussion? If you had one,
Yeah, I've had a couple. Yeah,
so
not
what
not
happens? What
not
happens
not like
like when he
that.
gets home? Does he have to be monitored, or is he left to go home by himself?
No, he's not allowed to drive or anything like that. Not allowed to drive, not allowed to do much really. His obviously partner drove him home, and then partner looks after him throughout the night. He probably wouldn't have slept that well. Sort of just fucks with your sleep a bit, and um, yeah. But yeah, he'll obviously miss next week, and he's got the 12-day protocol. Depends how he pulls up. You've got to sort of tick every box. I'd be interested to see how he goes with that because it was such a bad concussion. If they take longer and things like that, but yeah, he's in good spirits and should be right in a couple of weeks.
Now, before we do that, talk me through that set shot. It was like a filthy 4 or 5 iron just to find the centre of the fairway for mine. But like, at what point did you think it was going through? Did you think, oh God, I've shanked this, or were you always hoping and thinking this is probably going to bend in?
No, I just thought I shanked it. The ball stuck to my hand a bit, and it
Yeah,
sort
it
of
was
turned
so
it.
far off the inside of your foot that it bent, that it does the big left to right bender.
Yeah, it stuck to my hand. The ball drop was shocking, but
Do you reckon your brain and your hand-eye like elite talent? That's what I think. I think it knows that you've half cooked that, and your kick action, your follow through is actually different to normal to kind of guide it.
yeah, probably subconsciously you do that. You probably try to. Sometimes when you drop the ball a bit, you try to
Mm.
sort of with your foot and stuff. But I definitely, yeah, it was a bit of a fluke, and it was lucky it went in a bit of a flower bag. But no, I was happy it would go in because I think a few of the Giants boys were sort of already into me before it actually went in.
Mm.
In the air, they sort of yelled, "Yeah, good kick, Paps," or something like that. But yeah, I actually thought it might have nicked the post, but yeah, it snuck past, which was nice.
It was very good timing because our man Tom Green kicked one, I think, just before it. So it was just a little settler, and I think you were looking for him, but you just copped
Yeah,
Toby and the big package. It looked to me like you were begging for him just to put one on you so you could try and have another set shot.
yeah. The package and Toby, I think, wanted to absolutely belt the shit out of me, but I just knew they couldn't. Um, so it was just quite amusing in that first half. They had the laugh in the end, but it's all part of it. It's all good for the rivalry, and I enjoy it. And yeah, it was good fun.
Yourself and Toby are doing everything you can to make the Battle of the Bridge almost the second best rivalry, I think, behind the Showdown. And full credit to you both. Before we get into the comment that he made, and we're going to get to that, explain to me how I love him, and I know you love him, how our man Toby Greene gets 1 week for like literally a wrestling move of like the flying elbow drop to Isaac, who's like the game needs to protect. He puts bums on seats. He gets 1 week for that, and then my man, your man, our man, the Cross, Justin McInerney, he got 3 weeks for bumping a bloke at the start of the year. 3 weeks for a like tucked in, didn't raise anything, wasn't off the ground, a bump, on a big thick boy. 3 weeks, 1 week for an elbow to the head on a player on the ground. How's that? Explain that to me. How does that work in the AFL?
It's obviously all outcome based, that's just the concept of it all. That's how the tribunal worked. Because he wasn't knocked out. Um, it's not sort of severe impact. Um, but
If he made him end up like Hayden McLean, he's looking at 8 weeks.
yeah, he would. That would be if he was knocked out. It would be serious. He would get a lot. Yeah,
It's assault. Like,
yeah. But because he wasn't knocked out, the impact's low, and he kept playing the game, so it was only 1 week. It was intentional. But yeah, so it is interesting. It's a hard one, and I think that's why the Stephen May one is such a hard one as well, because it's he was KO'd, or knocked out, and I find the Stephen May one so tough as well, because he can't do much else. But those ones with Toby where he sort of meant it, and they're the ones you don't want to see in the game. And he's obviously very frustrated, Toby, and he sort of lost his mind a bit, and sort of let one go. So there's a few others. I think it was funny. I was into him because I kept telling him he's thrown more elbows than kicks in the first half. And that's what he was, because I think when he
yeah, okay, let's pause it. So we are now headed towards Toby's halftime incident comment. Build it up. So what happens between you two? Anything pre-game, and then like the yap, like during the first half. What sort of happens? What can you share?
Well, he's down the other end of the field, but somehow he always seems to sort of find his way towards where me and him seem to find our way towards each other. Look, to be honest, I actually don't really like go out there thinking I'm going to get into him, or he's going to get into me, or he might think, I don't know what he thinks, but I think as soon as we cross that line, because I have the most ultimate respect for him. I love the way he plays. Would be my favourite player to watch and learn from. And I think he sort of said the similar things about me. He likes watching me play and things like that. So it's sort of both way respect. But I think when you get such like-minded sort of players, and the way they're very white line fever, they can butt heads at times. And so yeah, I was obviously into the backs a little bit as their defenders as well, and just it's all part of it, all part of the rivalry. We like to get into them, they like to get into us, and it was working in the first half, and they sort of went a bit quiet in the second half, and they started getting their game going and things like that. But yeah, it was in the first quarter, and Toby tried to mark the ball, and then he's actually thrown an elbow to try hit me, but then he's dropped the mark, and then I've picked the ball up, and we've gone down, and Chatty's missed the goal, but then I got into him then and said, "Stop throwing elbows, just mark the ball, you idiot." Unfortunately, it cost them. Unfortunately, we kicked a point. And then he didn't. And then he threw one at Isaac. Then there was another one with Rampy, two others around, and I reckon that was about 4 or 5 elbows in the first half, and he only had 3 touches. So I kept telling him, "Mate, you're throwing more elbows than you've had touches," and he knew it. He actually knew it, because I was so far in his head, which was funny. And then. Yeah, and then Dixon. I knew Dixon was going to him for the. I don't know why I knew, because I knew Toby was obviously towards that way, and he was running towards the Giants player. I said, "Oh, Dicko, ask Toby why he's had more elbows than touches, throw more elbows than touches on the way to the interview," and then he said that. So, it's all good fun. It's all part of footy. I loved it. It was a great comment. If I was him, I would have said the same thing. Something about that, because it's good for footy. You can't just straight bat all the time and be boring and not have a bit of fun out there, because it's the way the AFL is trying to stop the sort of niggle now, and the fines that they throw out, and things like that. It may get very boring soon, and you've got to have personality in the game, and Toby's definitely got that. It's good.
I thought if we roll through, if Praddy cuts in the actual footage from Fox Footy, I thought full credit to Ben Dixon, because like he tried to like stimulate content, and just outstanding chat from Toby, because he's a psychopath once he goes over the white line, as you said. But his sledge was like personal but not offensive, and it was like criticising a AFL footballer's like body weight is the safest sort of space, I think. Like, you're all in tremendous condition. It fucking sent me like at home. It completely sent me. Me and your old man texted like it was just like on. Like what a great line. And then a few people were asking if they would have passed that on to Paps in the change rooms at halftime. And I thought, 100%, you just want to fuel the fire. What happened at halftime?
Yeah, I got told by the media guys, and I quite laughed, and Coxie told me as well. And unfortunately, they smacked us in the second half. But yeah, I was thinking about a few things if I was to kick a goal or if we were to win. Because in the final last year, he kept saying the same thing. He kept saying, "I'm overweight," because I was out for so long. Um, but yeah, I obviously finished that game a bit better in the final. But he got the last.
That beautiful sort of like 2-on-1 grab with the over the shoulder feed to Isaac. Yeah,
Yeah.
roll that.
But yeah, he was right this time. I didn't do much in the second half, and we obviously didn't have much opportunity down there. They were all over us and stuff. But yeah, so I did get told in the change rooms, and I had a few things up my sleeve if I kicked a goal or we won. But I sent him a private message on Instagram of my Maccas after the game, and he quite enjoyed that. I think I'd actually love to know what his skin folds are.
Winston's onto this, but like, if there isn't a light and easy commercial heading into round zero next year, and like the derby, like somewhere around there, it's a big missed opportunity by Winston and Light and Easy or Jenny Craig. There needs to be like you and Toby, skin folds. No, I'm not overweight anymore, mate. Light and easy,
Yeah, yeah. It was good fun. He was having a good laugh. I think he might have been obviously because people were, I don't know, into him about sort of fat shaming things like that. So I think he was a bit worried to see what come out of it. But it's good to see the AFL sort of knocked it back and said it was a gag. So it was good.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely play on, great content. Just added to the theatre of the Sydney derby. Did you get frustrated through the second half? Obviously you would have, but like, did you think about or were with the stage of your recovery from your hammy, like, would you have liked to have gone in the middle and just got involved a bit?
Yeah, you sort of do think about that, but obviously I've been out for a few weeks, and there's obviously a lot of boys that go through there now and things like that. So you do think about it, but they were pretty like we were actually getting the hands on it in the centre bounce. We weren't clearing it good enough, and um, yeah, then they'd just go and score. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating, but it's they're a good side. They're going to go deeper, I think. They've obviously got a couple of injuries now, which will hurt them, but they're a good side, and they do play a good round of footy when they're up and about, for sure.
Sheldrick in the first quarter, I thought was really good. Won a heap of like 50-50 ball and like didn't get beat and got it out. Then it looked like, from my view at home, he was moved out of that position a little bit. Was that the case?
Well, I think every week sort of they sort of spin the wheels a bit because we have actually got uh, a few extra midfielders or one or two extra midfielders playing because of like there's not as many yet forwards at the moment ready to sort of play, and they're very young down there. So we sort of play an extra midfielder and spin it through. That's why Juzzy plays a bit more forward. So there's Rowbottom, Sheldrick, obviously Heaney plays a bit forward, Warner plays a bit forward, Jazz. So there's a lot of guys that sort of go through there. Um, so it's at times you sort of can get stuck forward and things like that. So he might have been forward at times, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, it was unfortunate the way the midfield sort of went in the second half.
And the final one, will there be any sort of chat this week through the boys? Like, now we've got official sort of schedules locked in, post-season activities, trips, things like that, or is that like hush hush? Do you get insignificant if you and like the Cruss and the Liz are going, well, what we could do, and then like Coxie walks around the corner, is it oh god boys, you're in trouble, or is it professional enough to?
Nah, well, probably in a couple of weeks, I'd head down for a couple of weeks, and you start to think about that. I reckon sort of think about it, but I don't think you want to probably book too many things in until you know what's going on post season. Yeah, it was. You sort of can start to look to the off season, which is unfortunate because you do want to play in the big finals, big crowds, and it's obviously why you play footy is for finals and to win premierships. So it's disappointing, but yeah,
We reset, we go again, we're motivated next year.
probably just probably should state it's it is all good fun on the field, and I think as soon as the siren went, me and Toby and all the Giants guys, we have respect for each other. As soon as the siren goes, you do go up there and shake hands, and they were good after the game. They were humble, and I think it's the same way. If we were to win, I'm not like the way they went after the game, and I go after the game. As soon as the siren goes, you don't be an idiot. You shake their hand and have a good laugh about it all. So they were good and very humble in defeat, and I would be the same as well if we were to win, humble in defeat. And when the game's on, it's war, and when it's finished, you'd shake hands and have a good laugh.
Very aggressive hatred between the white lines, but no spite afterwards. Respect. Last night, if you missed it, you caught it on your socials. Amazing, like final 5 minutes to a game of footy at the Dome at Marvel. It's setting up a lot of narrative stuff with Wanganeen-Milera. Oh, I've slaughtered that. I'll let you announce his name, but he's like Kobe Bryant-esque at the moment in the AFL. Like he's got his own sort of level he's at, I'd say, right now. He's out of contract or about to be. He's worth more and more with every week that goes by. But it also sets up for like, would the weight of St Kilda be on his mind now? Because if he leaves, like where are they at?
Yeah, I think he couldn't leave because if he was to leave, it means I don't know. Saints should give him whatever he wants, open book. If he wants 2 million, give him 2 million because he's probably worth it in the end. Yeah, I think he'll be better than like the things he's doing now. He's probably nearly better than Dacos, which is hard to say because he's ridiculous as well. He's had 40 and 3 yesterday as well. So them two are just freakish talents, as well as Darcy as well. That's another one coming through at a similar age. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think Port Adelaide will offer him the book as well. He's obviously get back home. I reckon there's a few other clubs around that might just try to sneak in late as well, which would be interesting because you don't know. I didn't think he could have that hanger in him, and that adds another dimension that sort of Nick Dacos doesn't have.
Yeah, late in the game though.
Yeah,
he had 2 set shots and like he couldn't have hit them any better.
Yeah, flush.
2 from 2, they flushed 2. Like immense pressure, tired, adrenaline, young. They were both just like.
I think also he's obviously a very smart footballer because you could see him. He ran down to the 50. They all ran down to the 50, and he was obviously talking to the forwards. Because they have to come back. He said, pull back, I'm going to run here. And you could see him talking to Marshall as soon as he got the ball. He said, I'm going to run out left, kick it to me. And all the forwards have pushed back. So he's sort of planned to do that. He's planned to do that while all that's going on, something's going on. And then for for a ruckman to hit him there.
I was going to go with this because like you're going to be more vanilla than I am. Ruckman should only kick in emergencies is my view. It has been my whole life. Like you handball it, please. And for him to have minimal steps, lace one of them out, unbelievable from him.
Yeah, it was good. He's sort of one of the ruckmen that's a good kick and moves pretty well. But I thought that was a great kick, and to them to execute what they planned was amazing. 46 points down, the biggest ever comeback. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, an amazing way to finish. Well, it was a pretty dull weekend. The Crows completely pumped Port. Freo did the job against the Dockers. Good win by the Suns. That's about it, though, eh?
Yeah, it's heating up now. It's going to be, 4 games left. Sort of what happens with the top 4, top 8.
It's so tight above. Like, the Dogs won't make the finals, I don't think.
Well, yeah, the Dogs just smack teams, don't they? Like when they're on, but they just can't.
But they got to win 2. They've got to catch 2 games. Quite amazing because you think of them without looking at the ladder. Like the Dogs are a big player. They're not even going to play in the finals.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Wildcard round, such a missed opportunity. Like they are very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Anything else
Adelaide's
from the weekend's AFL? Adelaide, they're just continuing to sort of tick over, and they're going so good now that there might be like home finals until they have to play Collingwood at
yeah,
home in the grand final.
yeah, and they're going to be hard to beat at home, so it's going to be very interesting finals. Some new teams on the block, and it's good for the AFL. But unfortunately, we're not in there
Next year.
next year.
Saturday night, my mail is that you might have been commiserating in some beautiful establishments around Sydney. And from my experience growing up in Sydney, there is no better way to consume rugby union than in the eastern suburbs or Paddington, where you just see like sort of thicker blokes with a bit of chest hair. They got it out. They've got it's often a polo shirt, but a brand like a
Tucked in.
good branded blue or white button up with this.
Belt.
They've rolled up the sleeves a little bit. They've got chinos on or like just good honest jeans on with their RM boots with a big fat belt. You're wondering where the hat is. They don't wear a hat. But they're ripping and tearing. The rugby union's on. The Wallabies are playing. And they all get into it. And it creates what I think is one of the best atmospheres you'll ever get in a Sydney pub.
Yeah, it was pumping. I didn't realise the rugby's on because I like the union. I have no idea about that. But
95,000 or 93,000 at the MCG.
pretty amazing, isn't it?
Mm.
I
And
didn't
when
think
the
it would
Poms
get.
come, this is the British and Irish Lions. I went to the 2003 World Cup final. Johnny Wilkinson kicked a field goal to win the World Cup on his wrong foot.
Yeah,
But they sing songs, man, from the before it kicks off, like great songs. The
Really?
crowd. It's unbelievable. But it was in full effect there on Saturday night at the G2.
yeah, it would have been a good atmosphere there, and obviously the Aussies were going well, so see, they could have won in the end. And I heard there's a bit of controversy with the ref call or something.
Oh, some controversy. This big, thick boy with minimal neck, he got one of them. So if you keep your feet as they're tackled, you can go in and try and rip the ball out and turn it over. But if you go down, you can't do it. But as he went to do it, in the dying seconds, this big, thick British and Irish Lions player just dove and smashed him in the back of the head and neck and clearing out the ruck.
Yeah, right.
And apparently, that's illegal and should have been a penalty. They went back and they rolled over it. They looked at it. The referee was happy with it. I think the guy that captained the English side when they won that 2003 World Cup was on commentary, and he was like, "Nah, to play on. It happens all the time."
Really?
And the Aussie guy who was on commentary was just blowing up the likes.
Yeah.
So I don't know where, like, as a non-rugby union sort of aficionado, I don't know who to believe. I'm going to go with the Australian and say that we were robbed. But
Yeah.
it was a great game. It's fast. Like, they kick and they run and
Yeah, it'd be,
they hug the sidelines way more than they do in rugby league. They're not scared of going out.
yeah. And it's all territory game, isn't it?
Yep. You don't want to turn the ball over it because the penalty's 3, and normally they're really good set shots.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give away a penalty where they can kick the 3-pointer from. So they constantly try and bury the ball into the opposition's territory.
Yeah, fuck. That's good. It would have been bloody massive for Decider in Sydney. Probably wouldn't even try to go. Not know
It'd
what's
still
going
be
on
a
there.
sellout because they would have bought it.
Yeah.
These private school boys, they bought tickets 6 months out. They got the cash, put on the card. It'll be a sellout.
Yeah. The game really needed the Decider though, didn't it? It will still be a big game, but like Union's obviously not as big as League and AFL and stuff. But yeah, I used to know all the Union players like Takiri.
Stephen Larkham, Gitto,
Yeah.
Elton
Wendell
Farley.
Saylor.
Yeah, the guys at Union
Cregan.
that played rugby union come from rugby league.
Yeah, right.
Lottie Takiri played for the Broncos,
Yeah.
and Wendell did too. He got 2 years for something, allegedly, and then he returned for the Wallabies. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that was in 2003. He was in the World Cup final, the big deal. That's rugby union. It was glorious on Saturday night. I don't know if it's this Saturday night in Sydney, but I reckon it might be, and I think it might be must watch off the back of that. Ponies, Eyes on Ponies, brought to you by CTW Excavations. They'll go where the big boys won't. Find them on Instagram, get around it. Pretty good weekend, I thought. Self-interest governs us all. A really, really good set in Melbourne. We backed a $21 winner, a $25 winner, and then a $60 winner. And there was a race with a $1.30 shot. So basically 8 races, 3 winners at massive prices. A bit of chaos too. Salsa Fellow that we backed and was a big steamer was in a car accident on the way to the races and
Really?
scratched. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a setback. But yeah, how'd you go on Saturday? What were your sort of highlights, takeaways from Randwick? How'd it race?
Yeah, it was off fence. I didn't actually watch through that much. I was actually listening to the hottest 100 ever.
That was mint,
Obviously,
wasn't it?
that was good. Yeah. So I didn't watch too much. Sort of obviously missed a few of your late bets, which is just fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Sick.
I really enjoyed that video of you and Krasse.
But yeah, I haven't reviewed it properly. But looking at it here, it looks off fence. Only one horse was railed in run. That was the very first race, so you wanted to be sort of um, lanes sort of three plus 3 or 8 probably looks to be the sweet spot. But yeah, it was. I didn't really watch too much, but you wanted to be sort of off fence and looks to be sort of a couple of pairs back to sort of get to those lanes. But Nashville Jack was good in the first. A lot of the numbers not great, but sort of Naswa sort of won soft in the end. Naswa sort of had the hype around it and popped and sort of a very very ordinary ride by Sherry. I thought anyway, but it'd be interested to see what that horse comes out and does.
Yeah.
This glorious moment, so it was first up off last start, was first up off 460 days and produced a big number. Or was actually how much do you trust it? It's off a big break and things like that. I was like, oh no, I'll just leave it. And it's gone huge again. So
Front
that
and
looks
back
like
too.
yeah, that looks like that horse is gonna go on with it. Pretty good. Couple of back-to-back numbers. Obviously, it's got some talent because it's obviously been out for so long and maybe had some issues there. So
And massive for a benchmark 72, Paps. So it's a scopy horse.
um, it's like its very first prep. It actually, but they obviously thought it had some talent. They've thrown it in a Group 3, obviously at 100 and $201 as a 2-year-old, but it's come back and produced some 2 good numbers. So I think that could go on somewhere in the spring. Don't know how big of grade, but it's obviously lightly raced, so it's got plenty of improvement left in it. But other than that, I haven't watched too much of it. Um, but yeah, offense and a couple of pairs back looked the place to be.
Thought that it's not Western Empire.
Yeah, Western Front.
Yeah, I thought it was nice in the last race from right back. It hit the line nicely, but it's a big number versus what it's sort of done previously. But it's the 5th fastest last 100 of the day off a reasonable clip early. So
Mm.
yeah, I noticed that when I was looking through the data last night.
Actually come from yeah. That's Hayes, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. So it ran in Adelaide and won well.
Adelaide, yeah.
After failing at Sandown, they sent it up there. It's a run of a horse that might get a little bit further, But as a punting horse for you guys and us, just a little bit careful because it's a big improvement off what it's done previously. Head to Caulfield, where I thought this track's been the worst track of the 3 metros for a long time, 3 or 4 years, at least 3 years. It's starting to get a little bit of momentum now, Caulfield. As good as it's raced in the last 3 years on Saturday, rail 4 metres. They won from everywhere. The fence wore out as the day went on, but that's winter and that's an outdoor sport. It makes total sense. Really good numbers throughout the day. Pop Award's a really exciting horse by Seamus Award. You think it's going to get further again. That number's big. Stylish Secret really pissed me off. We're on Verona Rupe's. We're on the second horse to Pop Award, who's run an enormous number first up, a significant PB to knock us off. Then we get knocked off by Stylish Secret that we've been on a heap, was drawn wide and given an absolute peach by Craig Williams. Crook. Starting to wobble, Tom. Obviously, you're listening to music. You're just feeling. I'm starting to wobble. Then I back behaviour. Jamie Carr, Gavin Bedgegood. Glorious ride. What a win. It was winning from about the 400, I thought. Really enjoyable. And then I had to do the double take just at the top of the straight because I'm like, this horse is winning but there were two Nick Ryan horses in the race. One was favourite, the other one was Vane Champagne. We backed Vane Champagne. I had to just do the double take to make sure I had the right horse. I did, and just enjoyed that for 300 metres. Backed Milford in race 7. We'd have to get Jai on to find out why, but my mail is he was asked to be positive. He jumped well, he looked left, he looked right, he took a hold, and he went back worse in midfield. The horse, you wouldn't believe it, it over-raced a Lux, and then you wouldn't believe it because he resented it and took cover with the horse. It was held up key stages, ran 4th, enormous, probably should have won. I didn't back Bridal Waltz. Big mistake, eh? Big over. I didn't know what, I don't know what I did. I think I'm blaming the back. It was just a mistake. It won well. Not a huge number. And then we finished with, I'm going to say, I can't think of a bigger, more enjoyable win I've had as an owner in my life than Windstorm winning this race. Now, I think all of it is to do with the price available. I had a good bet at $26. I had a look like 30 minutes out as 30s. So, little top up. Looked again, 40s. All right. And basically, because of behaviour in Vane Champagne, I'm flying 40s, then 50s, another go. And then just before it jumped, $60. It was my last bet on this horse was at $60 on Betfair, 60. It pissed in. It was winning from the 400. Matt Hill almost missed it. I didn't. I was all over it from about the 400. Ridden perfectly to instructions. Amazing job, Gavin Bedgegood, with this horse. Blinkers first time. The closing splits are just glorious. 12.04, 12, 11.84, 11.70, 11.54. The horse literally accelerated as an 8-year-old from the 1,000 metre to the post.
Has it won in how many days?
Like 1,500.
Yeah.
Been very frustrating, and just super rewarding too. Like I sent you the post race, the pre race. Like I was pushing them so hard to bet at $26. So he went to the races. Say for example, this horse, the 2 previous times, $7 and $5 chances, and I said, like with the White Bear update, I'm like I think he's a bit short. Let's hope the market's sort of right. In other words, that means like I'm not having a bet. Yeah, unbelievable, big number. I don't know where we'll go with him, but it's going to be somewhere good. Week ahead, we're very busy, man. White Bear, your horse, and the Bunbury crew.
Bunyip
Crew.
Bunbury.
What even is that? The Bunyip crew and Paps, White Bear, the Cross. Nominated Sale Thursday. Nominated Cranbourne Friday. Might look at Flemington Saturday. Want good ground. We've got...
How's the weather doing this week?
It's not a lot of rain, but it's wet. It was a wet week, so it's not hot. So how dry do the tracks get? Marshall Music and Get Along accepted Wednesday. Get Along probably runs in the 1,000 metre at Sandown. Be very hard to beat. Whichever one runs, I think we win the race. I'll be betting, provided we get a fair price. Tadashi Thursday at Sale, and there might be another one that I've forgotten, but it's very busy back half of the week for us, so hopefully the momentum continues, and hopefully for you we can get White Bear over the line, or at least improve significantly. What else we got? That's about it.
I've got Iniesta Sunday. They're going.
Oh wow! Okay. This sets up for a lot. So we're taking $2.
Well, you'd think so. Wyong.
Where's Sunday?
Wyong, which is interesting.
Or tight track. We need to make sure if we're betting that we're going to try to be positive. We don't want to be last at Wyong.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to go to Wyong. Obviously, the second trial there on Monday wasn't
as good as the first. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad trial though.
Yeah, I still won the trial. Yes, was sort of given a bit, but it actually. So its second trial last prep beat Nasiah and was untouched back from the field, who then pissed in at Wyong by 3 lengths untouched, and then starts to $1.80 there on Saturday. So there's a bit of trial form around it from last prep, but you'd think it would start around $2, and you'd want to be in the first 4 with cover, because sort of didn't really like when it tried very well, true back, got cover and sort of let down. So I think they'll be trying to do that, and hopefully not too. Hopefully 3 pairs back, the worst at wire, but there's not going to be many in the field. So see where we go.
So what grade of race is that, and what's it worth?
It'd be a maiden worth stuff all, I'd say.
Sometimes there's rich ones out there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting because everything that's come out of the last trial, last prep sort of started $4 in the midweeks. And he's won 3 trials. It's going to be short, but see how we go. Hopefully get some confidence, get him on the board and go from there.
So as a team, we've had 2 Saturday winners in the last 3 weeks, and we might have a runner Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week.
Yeah. It's exciting.
That
Big
is
week.
exciting. Plus a big English Digital on Wednesday too.
Really?
It's not a big one, but there's one I'm going to buy. Hopefully. All right. That's been the Early Crow episode 78. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a phenomenal week. Just to clarify, Tom, not offended, very happy with the overweight and comment from the great man, and potentially something in that if Light and Easy want to get involved, just contact Tom's manager, Winston, and you take it from there. Anything else?
That's it, mate. That's it.
Golf
Off
this
for
week?
now.
Golf this week?
I don't think I can with my ribs.
Chip and
It's just that-
chip and putt. Get out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a phenomenal week. Behave yourselves. Gamble responsibly. And
Bye for now.
bye for now.